the various validation meetings. So we have undertaken to ensure that we reach today. I think it's important to underscore that this is the 6th strategic plan of the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. And it means there are 5 others that all of you in one way or the other have participated, not just in their development, but also in ensuring that they are implemented, and our business, the core business of promotion and protection of human rights, is enhanced in our different sectors. So as a commission, we remain greatly indebted to you, and we pray that as we begin the other journey for the next 5 years, as we launch this, that we are going to count on your support, so that in one way or the other, the business of promotion and protection of human rights in the country is enhanced, because this is a collective responsibility that all these state agencies. It requires non-state actors, the IMLUs, and all those institutions that we all work together to ensure that this is done. So we welcome you and feel at home as we begin this exercise. So at this point, we will not do introductions, which we'll do later on once we are done with the launch. So at this point, please allow me to invite Dr. Mogesa, who will quickly take us through what we have in the plan. Daktari, CEO, karibu.
Thank you very much, Samson. I also take the opportunity to welcome all of you. I'm going to take a few minutes just to give an overview of what the strategic plan for KCHR for the period 2023 to 2028 contains. As Samson has already mentioned, we are in our 6th strategic plan today. So for the next 5 years, we'll be saying we've had already 5 strategic plans that have been in place at the Commission. In this presentation, we have some background of the current SP, the context, the corporate statements, which will define the strategic plan for the period, and of course the goals and objectives, as well as the theory of change. What are we looking forward to for this 6th strategic plan? And of course we have the implementation arrangement. Now, to proceed, already we said this is the 6th strategic plan. The first one, of course, was the period 2004 to 2009, 2013. 20 us because they wanted us to include, some other development issues they wanted captured, and then of course the 2018 to 2023. Having said that, this might not be very clear for the people at the back, but very quick achievements of the 2018 to 2023 strategic plan. On item number 1, where we engaged the public in terms of awareness raising, we reached closer to 120,000 individuals, and also through media campaigns, we reached 10 million Kenyans over the period. Regarding integration of human rights education, of course, we had a hand in the human rights content in the junior secondary curriculum in our country, working very closely with the KICD, collaborating with institutions for training, especially on policy reforms, and of course raising awareness on human rights. Now, in terms of investigations which form the bulk of what we do as a commission, we investigated 11,500 petitions that were presented to the commission through various modes. But most important for us to capture here is that the economic, social, and cultural rights form the bulk of the complaints that we receive at 52.3%, while the civil political rights are at 41.6%, and the group rights are at 5.9%. 0.2%. And very important for us to note, also we were able to achieve a 75% resolution of the petitions that were presented before us. And one of the reasons sometimes we cannot reach 100% is that when you need documentation from the petitioner, sometimes they delay, sometimes they don't come back with the required documentations for us to be able to process the complaints to full completion. Then of course, in terms of policy alignment and review, and as a state agency that provides advisories not only to the National Assembly, the Senate, even county governments and other bodies, we were able to review 200 bills over the period and presented advisories to those entities that called on us to provide the same. Monitoring international obligations, again, working very closely with the government to ensure compliance with the obligations under Article 132 of our Constitution was done. Various reports were released. We conducted 15 researches on crucial human rights themes, and of course working with a number of partners as well. We strengthened partnerships, CSOs, government and international bodies. Most notably, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics recognized the intersex persons in the 2019 census, the first one ever in Africa. I think we are the second in the world. We are the second in the world. So this is very, very key, and you can see partnership with institutions of government and civil society are very, very important. And of course, integrating technology in the work we do. At the Commission, we have embraced technology, and we will keep on doing the same as we have captured in the current strategic plan. Challenges faced by the National Commission, yes, we have some challenges, and top on the list is funding to the Commission. We are between 75% government funding and 25% from our development partners. And what we see from the exchequer largely goes to support our operations, which means that we rarely have funds for program work. But Resident Coordinator, this year, financial year, we are happy that the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly approved some small fund to go towards the program, and we will thank the chair, JLAC, when it comes in. But we still need more. We are operating at a budget of around 500 million, but what the Commission requires is 850 million. Amenities, we still have challenges with vehicles. Unfortunately, when our commissioners, almost 2 years in office now, and they do not have vehicles to move around and execute their mandate. That remains our biggest challenge, ICT equipment and other facilities as well. In terms of staff capacity, we are operating at 25% of our staff capacity establishment as approved by the Directorate of Personnel Management Services of the Republic of Kenya. We are 114 when I should be having a staff of 461. So that is a big challenge. Inter-regional presence, of course, we have 5 regional offices and headquarters. However, the Commission has approved the Bloomer strategy to expand the presence of the Commission, and we hope we will get adequate support from the National Treasury to be able to realize this objective. And of course, without underscoring the COVID-19, which impacted in our work. The other ones, in terms of enforcement and implementation of our recommendations, again, we have challenges, especially from a number of duty bearers who rarely or hardly take up what we recommend from a human rights perspective. Next. What lessons have we learned from the previous strategic plan? Adoption of ICT. And we are happy, for example, in our programs, we have a monitoring system, such that even if the directors or myself are not in the office, you are able to see what is going on in the field, who is where, what they are. Partnerships and collaboration, regional and international engagement, again aligning with the regional and international mechanisms and making sure that we do our reports, shadow reports as required. Even though one of the challenges we face again, the UN resident coordinator, is that the state does not develop its reports within the period stipulated, which then affects us in terms of developing our shadow report for presentation as well. And of course, challenges relating to communication and networking, whereby influential decision makers through communication is very crucial, even though again you find that the back and forth in terms of what we are presenting and what we expect to be given to us sometimes does not come forth, but it's an area that we anticipate to improve more and engage more, create more networks in this particular aspect. Now, I will not read all this, but to say that our work will largely be influenced by the human rights-based approach across the board. Whatever we do in terms of promotion, whatever we do in terms of protection will be guided by the HRBA model. And this is what we are trying to infuse across the government ministries and agencies as well. Next. Now, whereas you might not see so much change in terms of the objectives, the framing of the objectives from what we had in the previous time, we have tried to confine ourselves within the mandate of the Commission. And therefore, our vision for this strategic period will be a society that respects and upholds human rights and fundamental freedoms. So that captures the aspirations of the mandate of the Commission. And then our mission is to protect and promote human rights and freedoms through policy, we'll engage around that, law and practice as well. Now, our core values, again, I will not go through all this, but expounding on participation, upholding our independence, integrity, inclusion, and accountability are very, very key. And our motto, which we retain, is haki kwa wote kila wakati, human rights for all the time. Our strategic framework then is based on 4 very key objectives. The first one will be on education and capacity building on human rights. So we'll continue with this work because new entities come up, new groups of people come up, not only in government, but also in the civil society spectrum, the citizens as well. So we intend to continue with the education and capacity building on human rights. Then our second objective is compliance and preservation of human rights, again, very, very key, and within the mandate of the Commission. The third one is access to justice, and this is what Kenyans would like to see the Commission doing, and accountability on human rights violations. So our work of redressing, employing the various mechanisms that are there, going to the courts, applying the alternative justice systems, or the ATR will be embraced in this. And of course, the fourth one, we will be reflecting inward as an institution. What is this that we want to do? How do we improve our own efficiency? Now, in the next strategy, of course, which again I am not reading through, it focuses on those 4 areas of intervention and what we plan to do. What methods or strategies are we going to employ to achieve those objectives which I have already mentioned. Next one. I will not read this one. Next one. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Okay. This is very, very important. Of course, again, capturing our Commission's structure, the role of the commissioners, driving policy, and of course, Secretariat implementing the decisions that have been made by the Commission, of course, in line with the Constitution, our Constitutive Act, and any other laws. Next. We will of course have the monitoring and evaluation, looking at the performance of this particular strategic plan. Of course, there will be the annual, the mid-term and end-term evaluation to inform the successes and the gaps therein in this particular strategic plan. So we have provided for this one in the strategic plan. Now, of course, again, this has been expounded right from this strategic plan. It's a 5-year plan. We'll be doing annual work plans. We'll be doing quarterly plans. We'll be doing quarterly reviews. There will be annual reviews. Then, of course, the final review and mid-term review, and of course, the final evaluation, which I think will take place in 2028. Next. Oh, that is the end. Thank you very much. The interest of time was trying to go through. But I know after the official launch, we'll have an interactive session thereafter as part of the program. So again, we will not tire to listen to you and even how we shall enhance the partnerships. And then at this point, allow me to invite the Vice Chairperson of the Commission, Dr. Raymond Nyiris, to come and make his remarks. Thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you so much, CEO. Good morning. Good morning. Now, before I make my remarks, allow me to recognize representatives from commissions and independent offices that are here. NCIC, NCIC, anywhere? GAG, is somewhere? ODPP, welcome. National Land Commission, karibu sana. Parliament, Senate, National Assembly, karibu. Kenya Prison Service, and all of you, karibuni. Now, I want to make my remarks on behalf of our chair, and let me recognize our chief guest, Dr. Stephen Jackson, the UN Resident Coordinator, the representatives from commissions and independent offices, and other government agencies that are here, representatives of the diplomatic corps, our development partners that are present, our stakeholders, the civil society organizations, human rights defenders, members of the media who are present here, my colleagues, Commissioner Sarah, the CEO, and the Secretariat, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and pleasure that we are gathered here today to celebrate the launch of the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights 6th Strategic Plan 2023-2028. Our journey in the human rights sphere has seen us grow from strength to strength, chalking up many achievements along the way with an equal measure of challenges. Together with all our partners and supporters, both state and unstate actors, we've been able to stand shoulder to shoulder to push and sustain the human rights culture in our beloved country. I salute those who came before us, and those great giants on whose shoulders we stand today, as we enjoy the relentless battle for the respect of human rights in our country. To all of you present here today, particularly the human rights defenders who tirelessly fight and champion for the rights of the indigent in our society, you are our great and some heroes, and we appreciate and acknowledge your gallant effort and role in shaping the human rights trajectory in our country. Today marks the exciting commencement of a transformative journey as the Commission ventures into new and enhanced territories in the strategic plan. For the Commission, today is not just about turning a new chapter, but a vibrant rebirth of a current historic revolution that promises innovation, growth, and boundless possibilities in the protection and of human rights in Kenya. It's as much a time for the celebration as a time for reflection. So the question begs, what next? As the saying goes, we are only as good as our most recent results. To be relevant tomorrow, we must be successful today. Yesterday's achievements are only belong in the history books and not else. Our new strategic plan for the next 5 years therefore aims to guide us to reach the next level. The central focus of our new plan is to promote a culture and ethos of the respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, in this strategic plan for 2023 to 2028, the Commission will use the full range of its constitutional and statutory powers to advance human rights and fundamental freedoms in our country. Over the next 5 years, and operating within the available resources, the Commission will prioritize specific key results areas of work. We will endeavor to take action on pertinent human rights issues that emerges within the very broad scope of our mandate. In this respect, the strategic plan that we are launching today is ambitious, and it will pursue 4 key strategic objectives, which are: 1, to enhance education in the promotion and protection of human rights in our country. The case to achieve improvements in the realization of human rights in Kenya, our clarion call during this period remains human rights for all at all times. In other words, haki kwa wote kila wakati. Ladies and gentlemen, in our role as a catalyst for change, the Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights will focus on initiatives that will ensure resolution of human rights violations that will arise during the span of this strategic plan. Where appropriate, the Commission will use its statutory quasi-judicial powers to explore systemic issues, gather evidence, and develop possible redress solutions. Further, in our role as an information provider, the Commission will empower the citizenry to claim their rights and understand their responsibilities in order to improve compliance within the law. As the main agency mandated with advising on human rights issues in the country, the Commission will work towards influencing public policy and inform human rights-based approach mechanisms to evidence-based research. In our role as a monitor and protector of human rights, the Commission will endeavor to secure the observance of human rights, fundamental freedoms, and constitutionalism. We commit to enhancing this role by using our strategic enforcement powers to protect the citizens against abuses of the human rights and fundamental freedoms. In line with the strategic litigation policy, the Commission will continue to support and take up court cases and intervene in proceedings that offer the opportunity to clarify the law, develop jurisprudence, improve court compliance within the law, or raise public interest in the issues involving human rights in our country. Colleagues, the Commission, through its strong governance structures, led by the chairperson, commissioners, commission secretary, will set appropriate policy directions geared towards the realization of the vision highlighted in this strategic plan. As a robust, evidence-based national human rights institution, the Commission will also continue to utilize data to inform interventions. This will be achieved through its four directorates, which are 1, complaints and investigation, research, advocacy and outreach, legal and redress, regional services, and corporate services. Colleagues, the Commission has consistently maintained an A-status accreditation internationally, a clear testimony of its high performance against the UN Paris Principles Compliance Evaluation Criterion national human rights institutions. In this regard, the Commission has deliberately and strategically committed in its new strategic plan to advise the state on compliance with the human rights treaties and conventions, as well as international human rights principles and standards. As the national human rights institution, the Commission use the reporting process alongside the Office of the Attorney General to improve the governance of human rights accountability. This will include monitoring treaties focusing on 1, civil and political rights, eliminating discrimination on the basis of race, gender, and disability, children's rights, torture, economic and social rights, among others. In addition, the Commission will continue engaging in monitoring Kenya's performance against the Human Rights Council's Universal Periodic Review. Ladies and gentlemen, promoting the harmonization of domestic laws, policies, and practices with the national human rights principles and standards is one of the Commission's core functions as a national human rights institution. In this respect, the Commission will follow up the recommendations of the various regional and international treaty bodies mechanisms by pressing for change so that Kenya's international human rights commitments are respected domestically. This has been factored into this strategic plan that we are launching today. The Commission's role as an A-status national human rights institution is an important part of the infrastructure in the international arena for strengthening the state's commitments to the actual realization of human rights for all in Kenya. As part of this strategic plan deliverable, the Commission will engage with the government's respective ministries, departments, agencies, and specific duty bearers to achieve this. This will be done through the Commission's responses to important consultations and issuance of advisories on fundamental human rights and freedoms. The Commission will also continue to brief and advise the National Assembly, Senate, and county assemblies on bills that have significant human rights implications in Kenya, and proactively build its relationships with the relevant parliamentary committees to help mainstream a human rights-based approach in the formulation of legislation. In addition, the Commission will continue to engage and cooperate productively with partners and stakeholders such as constitutional commissions and independent offices, as well as other human rights organizations in the civil society sector, to ensure that the importance of human rights and fundamental freedoms is well understood by the broadest possible audience in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commission's new strategic plan takes cognizance of the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the better, as well as for the fourth medium-term plan, MTV4 2023-2027, that is poised to address the socio-economic rights of Kenyans in line with the Bill of Rights as provided by the Constitution. The Commission is ready to play an oversight role to ensure that this noble initiative by the government comes to fruition. The Commission acknowledges the government's efforts to provide opportunities for the rights of minorities and marginalized communities through equitable sharing of resources. The Commission will also focus on how human rights laws and principles can address inequalities and injustices in our country and promote inclusiveness and respect for diversity in this great country. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, the Commission will continue to use its limited resources to deliver results and outcomes of this strategic plan through innovation, commitment, and the Commission is optimistic that by working in different ways and building partnership to help deliver this 2023-2028 strategic plan, it will extend its reach and impact on matters of human rights and fundamental freedoms, and ultimately realize its to be that respects and upholds human rights and fundamental freedoms. While it has taken a lot of effort to develop this strategic plan, ladies and gentlemen, it's only the beginning. What matters now is the outcome. I call upon all of us, each and every one of us, to join hands with the Commission as we unfold a new chapter and forge an alliance where our aspirations soar to the realization of human rights for all in Kenya. Thank you for coming, and God bless you. Before I sit down, we recognize the presence of our colleagues who have joined us. You can see Secretary Madam. You can just stand and Karibu, and my sister. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I want to welcome you. Karibu sana.
Let's give the Vice Chair a round of applause. Thank you very much, Vice Chair, for that speech. Now I have the singular honor of inviting and welcoming Dr. Stephen Jackson, the UN Resident Coordinator in Kenya, to come and make his remarks as our chief guest today. Karibu.
Waheshimiwa Vice Chair, Waheshimiwa CEO, Waheshimiwa Commissioners, Waheshimiwa viongozi, marafiki, hamjambo. What a pleasure and an honour to be with you for the strategic plan, all the more so because it comes at such a doubly, I would say, time moment. In just days, as I'm sure you all know, on the 10th of December, we will be marking a really important global birthday, the 75th anniversary of the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That for me, I hope I'll insult nobody's religion if I say that that document for me is part of the Holy Trinity, along with the Charter of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration, and the 2030 Agenda, the SDGs. Those three documents for me are amongst the highest codifications of the positive aspirations of the peoples of this planet. And if we needed any reminder of that, you may have seen that overnight, friends, for the first time in history, the Secretary General of the United Nations used his powers under Article 99 of the Charter of the United Nations to bring the risk of humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza to the attention of the 15 members of the Security Council. It's a most unprecedented move. So we have that. We have the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration, the landmark global document that sets out agreed, universal, indivisible, and inalienable rights that recognises the equal dignity and the equal worth of every person on the planet. And I would argue, as we look at what's become known as the poly-crisis around the world, COVID, climate emergency, proliferating conflicts in Ukraine, Gaza, the Horn of Africa, and elsewhere. As we look at that poly-crisis, the Universal Declaration remains more relevant than ever before. And it certainly underpins the efforts of the United Nations towards helping our member states, Kenya proudly amongst them, on the journey towards sustainable development, peace, and security. And then, as you know, better than I, there's a second birthday on the horizon, as Kenya celebrates her proud 60th anniversary of independence on the 12th of December 2023. The last 6 decades since the independent birth of this great country have seen really important progress in the promotion and protection of human rights. I would say signal in that was the promulgation of Katiba, this incredible, groundbreaking 2010 constitution with which you have blessed yourselves, and its Bill of Rights. And all of you, I'm sure, know Article 19 by heart, which states that the Bill of Rights is an integral part, and human rights are an integral part of Kenya's democratic state and the framework for social, economic, and cultural policies. So this new strategic plan for the Commission could not have come at a better time, at a moment where you yourselves are celebrating a dozen years of existence, having been given birth to under that Constitution. This strategic plan sets out your vision, and it's a vision that we share, for implementing this really vital human rights mandate that you have for the next 5 years. It goes without saying that this is also a critical moment in the history of this great country, Kenya. Kenya, alas, is not